Hello everybody and welcome to my garden. My name is Ashley and I garden here in Northern California, Sacramento area, zone 9B, and it is an absolutely beautiful evening out. The sun has gone down and I love that beautiful window. I know everyone touts the morning hours as a gardener, but I will challenge that hour to being like the last hour of sunlight, which I think is like genuinely the coolest because you don't have any sun on you and the day is almost done and you do a little bit of gardening and then maybe you can sit down with a glass of wine or a cold beverage and it is just beautiful. And I love watching the sun go down and the magic of, the accomplishment of the day, instead of having the day and all of the work that you have to do in front of you. To each their own, but I love this hour and welcome. And I wanted to get some of these. I have a few perennials that I wanted to plant. The first is a Belize white Gara, and this is a beautiful Gara. It actually doesn't get too tall. It gets to about 2 feet tall, and as you can see, it's kind of crisped up. Things typically don't do very well in pots for us for very long. So if we want to keep plants healthy, I got to get them out of these little plastic containers where they dry out much easier and, into the soil as fast as I can, if I want things like perennials to survive. So I have 3 of the white Gara, and one of them I'll show you when we plant them is actually worse for wear, and I need to get it into the ground. And I feel like once I do, we'll see it actually start to recover and do better. The next one I have is the Luminary Backlight Phlox from Proven Winners. This one, I just picked it because I think it would be a beautiful contrast. I wanted like a really crisp white. I have a lot of like really pretty color out here, and I think it mixing with the blue spire or even the pink spire Veronicas and the lavender would be just really beautiful. They're really tiny little plants right now. They're not going to do anything this year. They should be tall and in full bloom, but I just bought the really small, like quart size from Proven Winners. It was a less expensive option and I have plenty of blooms, so I don't mind waiting until next year to see them reach their full beauty. And now is actually a really good time to plant because the sun and the heat won't be directly on the roots, and I think it would just be a nicer little transition. The next one that I have is the Pacific Giant Galahad. So this was actually recommended by Rosie Hardy Gardening, and I love watching her. She has so much information. She is such a talented, intelligent woman, and she recommended the Galahad series. I have a few of the other different Pacific Giant series out, and this is actually going to go in the woodland garden. This gets to be about 4 feet tall, and look at it's looking rough. It needs to get into the ground where it can retain a little bit more moisture, and it's going to go in the woodland garden, so it's going to be cooler than even where I have it in the shade on the patio. So these reach about 4 feet tall. I like to plant them pretty closely together. I have 2 packets of these, but actually if you look in and see, there are actually 3 individual plants in here, and I'm going to separate them. So I'm going to be planting these in a trio, but I have 2 little trios that I'll be planting. These actually, I started experimenting with things that I think would go great in a woodland kind of garden and setting, and these have really impressed me, knocked it out of the park. I still have various little delphiniums around the woodland garden, making their little entrance and having their couple of weeks of bloom and then kind of fizzling away. I'll cut them back, and then before you know it, another one arises from a different location in the garden. And my goal is to have my woodland garden just full of these, and we are still blooming. I still have blooms coming on. It's been a couple of months since they have started to come up and bloom, and they have been pretty steady and pretty reliable. And I think if I get my numbers up, which I just absolutely love these, I love tall spikes of flowers. If I get my numbers up, then hopefully we'll have more flowers, more of these in bloom more frequently. So we're going to get these in, and I think that's pretty much all that I wanted to get planted today. So let's get to work. So I kind of positioned the luminary backlight phloxes kind of in a little sweeping pattern um, through the pittosporum and the lemon lime nandina. And this gets some dappled light, so, and it's right underneath. I think this one's Miss Molly butterfly bush, the buddleia. And I think it'll be a beautiful contrast with the really vibrant purple magenta of the Miss Molly. So I think that that is a wonderful location, and I think it'll be a nice contrast with the lemon lime nandina. Yeah, I think that's going to be beautiful. Let me show you where I placed the white Gara. Okay, so this is the rickety Gara that was on the struggle bus. I put it here next to a boxwood and a rose shrub, and I believe this rose shrub is Midnight in Paris. And oh my gosh, she is just all the things peachy. She has like a nice peachy pink blush to her, which I'm so into this year. So I think that it's going to be actually a beautiful complement of textures. The Gara is going to have beautiful, whimsical, blowing in the breeze blooms to her, and she'll be right underneath this like beautiful peachy, beautiful rose shrub. I just love Midnight in Paris. She's been slow to come along for me, and this year I planted her 2 years ago, so this is my third season with her, and this year is by far the best she has looked. And this little cluster is actually her second flush. After the first one, I just cut her all the way back, and this is what she did. Just maybe a month or two later. All right, I'll show you where the rest of the Gara are. So I have them placed next to the back patio here because I want them to kind of grow up and add some whimsy and kind of dangle over this ledge onto the patio. I just think that would be a beautiful complement. Also next to a geranium. I think this is an apple blossom geranium, but I have a difficult time remembering. Which is why I'm keeping a garden journal, so I can get better of writing all the details and the names and everything down that I buy and put in, and a boxwood here. And then it's actually right next to these Garas. I think they're rose temple Garas that I put in a couple of videos ago. And I have blooms coming in on this. What is she? Platycodon grandiflorus. Okay, I probably super butchered that, but that's why I actually keep the tags. I oftentimes keep tags in place because I will never remember. And even if I write a note of it, I won't remember which one specifically they are. And she's actually doing good. So she has a lot of shoots coming up, more blooms coming in. Really beautiful. All right, let's look at the delphinium. Okay, so for delphiniums, they really don't like their roots being messed with, but under these circumstances, there's really not anything I can do. These are 3 plants in here, and I just want to spread them out. Eventually, they'll need to be spread further anyway. This is a good tip. Whenever you're buying plants, always check to see how many are actually in there, and you can separate them, and usually more bang for your buck. All right, so I'm going to be as delicate as I can. There genuinely just isn't any way to be completely delicate about it. Okay, now I have my 3 pieces. And I'm trying to just see if there's an easy one that I can come in and separate. And I see that that is right here. So I'm going to make a cut, and then I just try to gently pull so that its roots come along with it, and hopefully I don't destroy another one's roots. So I'm going to make a little cut up here to get this separation going. And then gently work my way down, and then I'm left with just a few smaller clumps. All right, here I have my clumps. We're ready to go. All right, I just wanted to show you guys some of my other favorite things that are looking good. I feel like I could give you an entire back garden tour or specific garden tours, but I like to show you what is looking good now and what um, I want to give each plant, flower, bloom their own moment. So I have the Oklahoma salmon zinnia right here, and she is just looking beautiful. This gomphrena has filled out. I started this gomphrena and the Oklahoma salmons from seed, and they are just, this is filled out. I am so in love with this gomphrena. And underneath, I have bee balm. This darker purple bee balm I didn't start from seed, but these ones I did, and they are in bloom. So these lighter lilac-y ones, these are mine. And I don't know about you, but seeing something that you start from seed actually come in is like just the best, most rewarding feeling. And I also started this echinacea, and you have to kind of search for things kind of filled out so much more than I anticipated. But I know this sounds nerdy, but I actually love having to search for things. I love it when things peek through and the little surprises here and there. That's actually one of like absolute best things about gardening, I think, is all the little hidden treasures and all the things to look at in every direction. And it takes artistry to kind of put that together. It takes a lot of thought and planning. And in the back here, I have my black-eyed Susan that I started from seed. And she is just going and going. And I talk about a low maintenance plant. Like, I really don't deadhead her. I don't do anything. And the pollinators love her. I need to come and pick off some of these blooms because I want to keep my zinnias going, so I got to keep cutting on them. And they are planted right next to my Earth Angel rose. So I think it's just a beautiful complement. I just love that cottagey, everything growing together, everything mingling. The pollinators are loving it, and it is just so beautiful. Let me swing you around because I have something I am so proud of to show. Of course, the Nicotiana, I started that from seed as well, but I already showed you, I've shown you guys that. But oh my gosh, she just keeps getting bigger and bigger and more and more. She is literally like to my shoulders here. This is actually, I'm so proud of her. This is a Carthusian pink. And that's actually what all these little clusters of green grass down here, all of them, they're actually not weeds, they're Carthusian pinks. And this is their first season. And like many perennials, I think that I've gotten a lot of blooms out of them, but not to the fullness that I think that I can and will be expecting next year. So I think next year is going to be a lot fuller. And then I have my anise hyssop that I also started from seed that is going to be blooming hopefully soon. And these I started in the spring as well from seed. But this, this This is my pride and joy. These are my Lysianthus. This is the first one to come into bloom. And I actually don't have a lot left. I have maybe 6 or 7 of the original many that I started from seed. And I don't remember, I will look up the exact name of the seed that I bought. Lysianthus, they are really challenging to grow from seed. It takes a lot of time, a lot of months. Silly me, ordered more seeds. They should be here tomorrow for me to start this journey again. And the funny thing is like I'm only just starting to see blooms from these that I started and have babied for an entire year. And humming and hawing and debating. And there were a few times I decided I wasn't going to do it again. But here I am. The moment they bloom, I'm ordering more and I'm going to be doing it again. And they also have, they're called the thornless rose. I love the foliage of them. They're technically a perennial. I heard they don't do as well in their second year. So we'll just have to see. I will keep them in because they were such hard work. I'm not going to be pulling them out, and I'm curious to see what they do next year. But I kind of anticipate that. I don't really anticipate much. But yeah, she is absolutely beautiful. They're called the thornless rose, and they have a very long base life of like 10 to 14 days. So very valuable in the cut setting world, the cut flower world, but also just absolutely beautiful in the landscape. Absolutely stunning. And this is another one. I have a few tucked in here and there. This one has her buds on it as well, and they are about to come up. So super proud of that. And then swinging it around, I have more zinnias. And I just saw the other day, it was like, boom, the powdery mildew had arrived. And I heard that they are very susceptible to powdery mildew. And yeah, I would say that that's definitely true. As you can see down here, we got powdery mildew issues. And I actually have never dealt with powdery mildew before, so I don't really know if I should be doing anything. This is Breakout, my first breakout bloom. I am so in love. I can't imagine, I couldn't imagine a beauty this deep, and I'm shocked that I get to behold it. She is just so beautiful, so huge, bigger than my hand. And she's already got another one coming. She has buds all over her, because I heard these dinner plate dahlias maybe give you 2 to 3 in a season. But she is already promising more. And oh my gosh, the color, this is my jam. This literally is like so stunning, stunning perfection. I could literally wax on about her, but I would be hard pressed to find something more beautiful than this breakout dahlia. The just delicate champagniness, the light hints of blush, the beautiful, like warm buttercup yellow in the center. Oh, absolutely stunning. Ortizebrook Audrey in the back there. Beautiful cosmos having their moment, and of course more strawberries and cream. And this hyacinth beam. And we also have some beautiful tomatoes coming on our tomato trellis. All right, let me go show you where the delphiniums are and where we decided to put them, and I'll show you what I do to protect them. And here we have this odd-looking delphinium. They are right behind the wedding gown hydrangeas and a lilac. I think they're going to be beautiful here. I try to plant them outside of dog foot traffic to increase the likelihood that I can keep them. And I think that it's a nice little spot. I have a sad looking peony right there, and it's next to our temporary duck enclosure. Okay, and let me go and show you where the next 3 are planted. Okay, and here we have it, the final 3. I have them kind of tucked in under the hydrangeas right in front, leaving pathways for the doggies to get around. Then I have some I believe these are phantom hydrangeas, some limelight hydrangeas. These beauties that I don't think were clearly named when I purchased it, but gosh, I wish they were. I'm going to have to find out what these are because I want more. The very final step is going to be putting some kind of slug bait on them, because I know that you often don't see slugs active in your garden, but slugs love delphiniums, and I made a terrible mistake. I started delphiniums from seed really early this year, and unfortunately all of them were completely destroyed down to little nubs by the slugs, and I lost all of them. So I don't make that mistake again. I happen to use this because it's the same Sluggo Plus. I use it on the dahlias. They love dahlias as well. So I just keep an eye out. And whenever I plant delphiniums, I come out and lay like a good little amount. It doesn't hurt pets. It doesn't hurt children. It's non-toxic. So it's safe to use because we have a lot of animals around here. And, you know, our kids around, but they're older and not putting things in their mouth. But still. So I'm going to give a generous layer of Sluggo on these delphiniums, and check on Dahlia Way and just make sure that the slugs are being kept in control. The slug issue is why we have those Indian runner ducks in the back. I thought, let's just get some more natural protection on board. Okay, everybody, we are done, and it's time to sit back and have a glass of wine and enjoy the evening. Um, Thank you so much for joining me. I love sharing my garden with you. It is truly the magic hour, as you can see by the twinkle lights. We are almost done with daylight, so we got the little task done in time. That's my husband walking around in the background. He does not like to be on camera, which I think most spouses don't appreciate that. So we're done here for the day. I hope that you join me next time. I have a feeling that I know what the next video is going to be, and we are very much on a delphinium kick, and I think we're going to be starting some delphinium seeds because this is just, it's not enough. It really isn't enough. I'm thinking we're going to need a hefty amount more. So join me next time. Enjoy your days, enjoy some nature in some capacity today in our busy lives. And thank you. And I hope you join me next time.